Good day, everyone. My name is Richa Limbang, and I am going to tackle about Filipino citizenship versus me, family, institution, and cultural citizenship. So, what is citizenship? Citizenship is a legal relationship between an individual and a state, granting rights and responsibilities such as protection, voting, and participation in government in exchange of allegiance and duties. It isn't just about legal status, but is also about your identity, responsibilities, and participation. Being citizen of your or our identity, it includes rights, duties, and awareness of others in society, as defined by March and Olson as an identity shaped by shared responsibilities. Being citizen is building or finding our identity. It can be shaped or done through everyone's participation and being responsible. So now we are going to talk all about the traits of a good citizen honesty. So first one we have the following rules and laws. As we follow the rules and laws given by the government and we enforce it well, it will cause peace and order to the society. Next is we have the helping others and being friendly. Doing good and socializing is everything, especially during these days. Next is the third one, which is the caring for the environment. As we care for ourselves and family, we must take good care and give love to our environment because this is the place where we are living and this might cause or affect the following generations that may come. So lastly, we have the respecting equality. So whether you are rich, poor, or gay, we are all equal, especially in the eyes of God. So we must respect each and everyone in this world because we are equally created here in this world. So next we have the from passive to active citizenship. Citizens are becoming more involved in democratic processes. For example, the current issue about the ghost projects in the government. People become more concerned as the issue comes out. So, passive to active participation. Citizens are becoming more involved in democratic processes. For example, the ghost project of DPWH, where before did not people do not show concern much about the activities that the government has been doing, but as they knew how many trillions and billions these people took from the citizens, they got attached and involved and gave so much concern. So this is an example of passive participation to active citizenship or participation of individuals. Key takeaways: Filipino citizenship blends family ties, culture, and civic duty. There is a growing shift toward active participation and national responsibility. Democracy thrives when citizens engage, assert their rights, and hold leaders accountable. So, as we participate in societal activities, perform and go hands-on of our rights and making and choosing accountable, responsible, and brilliant leaders, this is where true democracy comes to our nation.
Good day everyone, my name is Milrose Sherman and I will be discussing the Philippine political culture, a problem of variation. Start. The Filipino concept of good citizenship includes honesty, loyalty, collective pride, diligence, for example, taxpayer or voters, following rules, caring for the environment, and protecting the rights of others. However, in practice, familial and local ties often come first before national identity, making it difficult to form a strong sense of being Filipino. So, first, when we say good citizenship, uh, Nambal nga honesty is about honesty, loyalty, following the rules, paying taxes, and respecting others. But in reality, mas gina-prioritize ta ang familita and local ties kaysa sa pagiging Filipino as a nation. For example, a politician prioritize projects that benefit their hometown or family's business interests over national development projects. So, diri na magsulod ang sa politician, pwede nila gamiton ang ilang posisyon para sa ila family interest. So, dito siya matawag ng corruption. Dito siya matawag corruption kay ginagamit man nila or ang kwarta para sa ilang business, personal business instead sa ilang development projects. So, next example is a citizen votes for candidate based on their family connections rather than their qualifications or platform. So, ang citizens, nag-vote sila based on connections or the closeness ng family. So, even though nga sa ilang plataforma, imposible nga mahimo nila to or whatsoever. Ito siya. So, next, in the Philippines, there is a great cultural and ethnic diversity. Based on the data 2016, Tagalog, Cebuano, Ilocano, Bisaya or Binisaya, Ilocainon, Bicol, Waray, and many minority groups make up the population. About 25.3% belong to others, meaning smaller minorities. So, the Philippines is very diverse. Just like sa Yambal ko ina, meron ang Tagalog, Cebuano, and so on. Ang mga minority groups nakakompose ng 25% sa population, pero damo sa ila nakafeel sang excluded or hindi belong. Next, minority groups example, Ifugao of Kalinga, Bukidnon of Iloilo, and Muslims are often marginalized. Marginalized means na nagka-feel sang disconnected or powerless. They feel alienated because the general system like education, language, laws, traditions mostly reflects the dominant groups. For example, education uses English or Filipino, not their native tongues, which is, it makes them feel excluded and inferior. So, sa education daw, ginagamit ang English or Filipino kag hindi ang ilang native language. Muna daw nakafeel sila sang hindi belong kung nag-result sa weak unity nationalism. This alienation creates a sense of not belonging. Citizens who don't feel the benefits of a state or recognition of their traditions have a little emotional attachment on the nation. This weakens unity nationalism. So, isa pang example is, a national event or celebration is not widely observed or participated in by citizens from diverse backgrounds. The next example is, a school in a predominantly Christian area does not provide accommodations or support for Muslim students during Ramadan. I don't understand. So, next, the definition of being Filipino must therefore come from the grassroots and include the needs of and practices of diverse groups. However, this is challenging because traditions and religious practices, for example, Muslims in Sharia law, might differ from national law. So, ang challenge is ano ta ma-define ang pagiging Filipino if lain ang ato ng traditions ug practices. So, dapat inclusive ang demokrasy. Demokrasy ta, meaning tanan ng groups tagaan sang respeto, tagaan sang justice, fairness, and equal rights. For true democracy, the state must guarantee due process, equal protection, justice, fairness, and equity for all, not just the majority. The proposed action agenda is to improve political and social conditions, reduce poverty through reforms, foster community belongingness, empower citizens to exercise their rights and fulfill obligations. The Philippine political culture struggles with variation because Filipinos tends to value family and local identity more than national unity, while minority groups feel excluded and unrecognized. To build a strong nation, democracy must be inclusive, diverse, during traditions respected, and structural reforms implemented to all citizens. Majority and minority feel they truly belong. So, ang pula sa atong Philippine political culture mo na nga mas kina-highlight naton ang family unity kaysa sa national unity. Kag naga-marginalize ang minorities. So, atong solution kay inclusive democracy, respect for diversity and reforms para sa tanan, hindi lang sa majorities. Apil na ang majority or minorities. Para mapafeel sa ilang nga they truly belong as a Filipinos.
I am going to talk all about developing democratic culture. A development of a democratic culture requires more than just the presence of democratic institutions. The democratic institutions we are referring here are those, for example, the Gabriela, Anak Bayan, Makabayan. So, it relies on shared values and active participation. So it means we don't just need those institutions to build us, to drive our community. Each of every one of us requires us to participate with those activities to fulfill something. So according to Zalseta 1997, there are 4 essential values that must be embraced to foster a strong democratic society. So first, we have respect for and affirmation of the individual. Recognizing that each person has inherent rights helps establish boundaries and mutual respect within a community. So those inherent rights that we are talking about drives us or helps us to establish boundaries. So these boundaries, we should put these to show respect and importance to other people, because as what I said earlier, respect is everything. Next, the second one is recognition of human dignity. Treating people as ends in themselves, not merely as means, promotes fairness and equality in social interactions. Tuturuan tayo na maging mas responsable sa mga actions natin. For example, ang tao ngayon is mahirap na or mas may kakaunti or mas less ang kanyang kakayahan sa kanyang buhay. So, bakit pa natin kailangan ipakita talaga sa kanila na mahirap sila or mas less sila sa atin? So, we should promote fairness and equality to our society because if you wanted to be treated well, you must treat other people well as well. The third one is the concern for the public good. Understanding that individual rights are part of a larger framework of civil rights and the welfare of the state encourages civic responsibilities. So, the concern for the public good is that it teaches us to be responsible for whatever we do. It's because kung ano ang ginagawa natin, maaaring bumalik yun sa atin. Kasi, those individual rights that we are referring are individual rights that we also own. So, whatever we do, it also affects us because we are part of that community that which is we are evolving in the same community. And also, this third one, it teaches us to be more responsible for what other people may feel, for what other people's safety, and whatsoever. So lastly, we have the willingness to listen to others. A democratic culture requires open-mindedness and a commitment to understanding and others' perspectives. So, this part, it teaches us na maging bukas sa kung ano man maaaring mangyari or sa kung ano ang tama para sa ibang tao naman. Na maging mapagpahalaga at maging responsable kung anong maaaring ma-feel ng ibang tao at kung anong maaaring isipin ng ibang tao. Kasi, for example nito is kung we are under a debate. Kung gusto mong pakinggan ka habang ikaw yung nagsasalita, you also learn how to listen to them. Because once you make them feel that you are listening to them, they will also tend to listen to you once you already speak. Values urge individuals to care not only for their families but also for the broader society. So it teaches us na maging responsable, hindi lang para sa sarili natin. Maging responsable tayo sa kung anong gagamitan sa ating mga actions because hindi lang tayo gumagawa or hindi lang tayo nag-act para sa sarili natin. Because we are under the same community. Whatever happens to us, whatever we act, it may affect them as well. Active involvement in community and national matters is a critical part of one's political identity as a Filipino. This kind of engagement builds a stronger and more united nation. In conclusion, the journey toward a unified Filipino identity is filled with challenges, especially in a globalized world where modernization can sometimes erode cultural values. However, by continuously nurturing democratic values and staying committed to the common good, Filipino can uphold a strong sense of national identity and stand united as one nation.